Got to ask as an Aussie about your thoughts on the main event. Obviously, we're pretty keen to see Volk get that belt back. Have you got any thoughts on how that one might go?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of a narrative being painted here that, there's a couple old guys and there's a couple young guys. I don't know if we like that much, me and Volk. Volk is still at the top of his game. He still at this point has only lost to the top of the top of the top of the division. Um, my money would be on Volk if I was a betting man. He's got too much experience. He's too strong. He's too well rounded. He's got too great a fight IQ, and I think he's still hungry. Diego Lopes is a force to be reckoned with, though. Young, hungry. This is like his first shot, just like this is Patty's big shot. So these young guys, me and Volk remember those times when we were in that position to be able to jump up to the next rung. But I would bet on Volk.
Have you had anything or much to do with him personally, or just kind of admired from afar?
I admired from afar mainly, but when we see each other, we talk a little bit online. We talk a little bit after each fight, congratulations and stuff. And every time I see him, we're always very cordial. I feel like he and I are pretty similar. We might be from completely different ends of the globe, but we're pretty similar in a lot of ways. So I'm always in his corner rooting for him.
What did you make of, I guess, his last two fights? Did you think he came back a bit too soon to face Topuria following the Islam knockout? And do you think he's made the right call by kind of having this extended break before this one?
Yeah, I think it's always hard for us to do, man. It's hard because even if you're financially secure, I was able to wait for Connor for the better part of a year and a half because I don't rely just on my fight paycheck. So it's nice to have a seven-figure brand that you can do different things and entrepreneurial ventures and work on other things to give yourself the option to take some time off, but you got to stay busy doing other things. And when you can do that, that's a very good thing because you got to let your head heal. You got to let your body heal. And sometimes you just got to let your heart heal. Sometimes you lose a fight and you think the only way to make your heart not hurt anymore is to get back in there as quick as possible and win when really your body wasn't ready for it. I've gone through that in my career. I just got done writing my book that I'll be able to publish later this year, the first of 2026. And there's a story in there about how I lost 3 fights in a row, 688 days without winning a fight. And it was because after I had my first loss, I was just chasing the next one. I had to get in there as fast as possible. My body wasn't ready, but you got to give yourself some time off. And I'm glad to see he did it.
You mentioned you're both kind of at that, I guess, the veteran stage of your career. Um, there's been talk over the last kind of this recent run of Volks that, some fans would like to see him maybe step away and look after his health and whatever. Can you relate to I guess the balancing act between wanting to keep going and kind of slowing down or whatever it might be?
Yeah, I mean it's hard. If Volk loses Diego Lopez, okay, let's start having a conversation, right? But you lose to Islam twice, right? You lose to Taporia, man. You're losing. It's like me, man. You can talk about my record all you want, but I've done nothing but fight the toughest competition in the entire world. It's not like, hey, these guys are pretty good at fighting. No, we're talking first ballot Hall of Famers. So when you're competing against the best guys in the world, you're going to lose. You're going to take your lumps. You're going to fall short. You're not going to get your hand raised. It's a part of the game, right? But like I said, I lose to Patty. Maybe we can start thinking about those conversations. He loses to Lopez. Maybe you can start having those conversations. But when you're losing to the toughest guys in the world, man, these armchair quarterbacks, we call them here in the States, people from their couch saying, this guy should retire. It's like, dude, I'm out there fighting the toughest guy on the entire planet. So more power to him.